Kharkiv Mayor Igor Tereshkov called it the most powerful attack since 2022. 40 explosions rocked the city in just 90 minutes, with sirens blaring and skies lighting up.
Moscow is tense, and not the kind of tense where politicians sweat under sanctions or oligarchs check their offshore accounts. This is a different beast. It's the silence right before impact, or in this case, after. In a stunning turn of events, Ukrainian forces have executed one of the most precise and unexpected blows yet, hitting Russia where it hurts most, its covert bomb-making facilities. Not front lines, not armored convoys, but the very heart of its weapons research and production machine. We're talking about underground labs, hidden deep in secure military zones, brought to their knees by Ukrainian drone strikes and long-range missile attacks. The kind of thing you'd expect in a Tom Clancy novel. Except it just happened. And the aftershock? It's political, strategic, and psychological. Because when the world's most watched conflict enters a new phase, one where targets are brain centers, not just battlegrounds, everyone pays attention, including Moscow. Introduction. Escalation in a new form. Welcome back to your channel name, where we decode the headlines with the nuance the mainstream often skips. Today, we take you inside a moment that's shaking the geopolitical chessboard. It's not just about missiles or military momentum. It's about message, and Ukraine just sent one loud and clear to the Kremlin. This isn't a random battlefield win. It's a high-stakes escalation. Ukrainian forces targeting strategic bomb development centers within Russian territory itself. The timing? Flawless. The execution? Surgical. The implications? Enormous. So buckle up, because this isn't just about drones and damage. It's about how this move might signal a new Ukrainian strategy, provoke harsh Russian retaliation, and permanently shift how modern warfare is fought. The strike, what happened, and how. Let's break down what actually went down. According to multiple intelligence sources and satellite confirmations, Ukrainian drones and long-range weapons struck multiple high-value targets across Russia in the early hours of a quiet weekday. The biggest hit? A bomb research and development lab near Voronezh, believed to be critical in the production of glide bombs and smart munitions. This lab wasn't just a warehouse, it was a high-security site managed by Rosaboronexport, Russia's key defense contractor. Within minutes, social media exploded with videos of fireballs lighting up the night sky, followed by a conspicuous absence of coverage from state-run Russian news channels. Locals reported shockwaves felt miles away, suggesting not just structural damage, but the potential detonation of stored explosives or volatile chemicals. And here's where it gets even more dramatic. These were not just symbolic hits. Satellite imagery later confirmed crater depths consistent with precise high-velocity impacts. Translation? This wasn't luck. It was tech-driven precision. Ukraine wasn't playing around. Strategic shift. Why this target? Why now? For months, Ukraine has been on the defensive, regrouping after Russia's intensified aerial campaigns using gliding bombs and thermobaric devices. So instead of playing catch up on the ground, Kyiv chose to strike the head of the snake. By targeting the very labs where these deadly devices are made, Ukraine is rewriting the rules of modern military deterrence. This is deep strike warfare, and it's a play straight out of NATO's textbook. Military analysts believe these attacks were planned weeks in advance, relying on high-level intel, cyber reconnaissance, and possibly even insider support. Some reports hint at the use of NATO-grade surveillance drones for target marking, though Kyiv, as usual, remains tight-lipped. Timing is also key. The strikes came just days after Russia intensified its attacks on Kharkiv using advanced bomb tech, possibly signaling Ukraine's threshold was crossed. Russia's reaction: silence, spin, and internal panic. So, how did Moscow respond? Officially, denial and vague references to technical malfunctions at military sites. But behind the scenes, you can practically hear the alarm bells. Security around critical defense labs across Western Russia has reportedly increased. Internal memos leaked via anonymous Telegram channels suggest a scramble to reassess physical vulnerabilities and personnel clearance at similar facilities. And politically, This couldn't come at a worse time for the Kremlin. With Putin trying to project strength ahead of key summits and public appearances, these successful Ukrainian strikes chip away at his narrative of invincibility. In fact, some Russian nationalists, usually staunchly pro-regime, have started questioning why these facilities were so exposed. When the loyalists start asking questions, you know the situation's bad. The global reaction, lines are blurring. Ukraine's allies in the West have largely stayed quiet, at least publicly. But behind closed doors, military leaders from Washington to Warsaw are likely raising their eyebrows and their glasses. This shift from frontline warfare to high-value target elimination is significant. It echoes US and Israeli strategies that favor disabling an enemy's infrastructure over ground battles. And while Ukraine hasn't officially admitted to cross-border strikes, its strategic ambiguity is getting bolder. Meanwhile, China and Iran have expressed concern over the escalation, while NATO officials reaffirm Ukraine's right to self-defense. The bigger concern? Russia's possible retaliation, which could target Ukraine's own energy or research infrastructure. We're now teetering on the edge of modern hybrid warfare, where information, drones, sabotage, and precision strikes replace traditional tank battles. Humorous rap, missiles, labs, and a very nervous Kremlin. You have to admit, this war keeps rewriting the script faster than Hollywood. Russia built high-tech bomb labs. Ukraine said, "Nice place. Shame if something happened to it." And then boom, they made sure something did. Putin must be checking his bunker locks twice these days. Meanwhile, Ukraine's probably printing out satellite maps like, which one next? But humor aside, the takeaway is chilling, modern. Warfare doesn't wait for declarations, it doesn't play by rules, and it definitely doesn't respect borders, not anymore. So, whether you're watching from the west, east, or somewhere in between, one thing's for sure. This war just entered a whole new chapter, and the stakes have never been higher. Why this attack really matters, and why it's not just a win. Now, you might be thinking, okay, Ukraine blew up some labs, what's the bigger picture? Oh, trust me, there is one. This strike isn't just a blow to Russian weapon production, it's a psychological chess move. See, in military terms, Russia has relied heavily on glide bombs and advanced aerial munitions to push into eastern Ukraine, often from safe launch distances. These bombs have been Ukraine's nightmare for months, but with this surprise attack, Kyiv just flipped the script. Imagine you're Russia. You've spent billions developing smart bombs and cloaking your labs in secrecy, and bam, they're gone, in one night. And worse, the enemy did it with drones you once dismissed as hobby toys. This is like getting punched in the face by the guy you said was too weak to fight. It's not just painful, it's embarrassing. And Putin hates being embarrassed. Strategically, this tells the world Ukraine isn't waiting around. It's evolving. It's leveraging asymmetric warfare. And it's letting Russia know, your backyard isn't safe anymore. Ukraine strikes deep. Bomb labs targeted with surgical precision. In one of the most daring military moves of 2025, Ukraine took the war far beyond the trenches and straight into the fortified core of Russia's weapons infrastructure. Using a combination of long-range drones and advanced missile systems, possibly enhanced with Western intelligence, Kyiv executed a pinpoint attack on bomb-making labs deep inside Russian territory, including facilities in Voronezh and Bryansk. These weren't just symbolic buildings. They were high-security sites, home to glide bomb research, advanced explosives development, and possibly chemical weapons prototyping. The precision of the strikes was no accident. Satellite images released after the attack revealed direct hits to central structures, not just surrounding infrastructure, indicating meticulous planning, extensive surveillance, and tactical execution. The message was clear. Ukraine isn't just defending anymore. It's making the Kremlin sweat, not through volume, but through accuracy. The shockwave effect, political, military, and psychological fallout in Russia. While Russian state media downplayed the incident as minor damage and technical malfunctions, the reality on the ground painted a much different picture. Panic rippled through Russian command as one of their most guarded military assets was turned into smoldering rubble overnight. The timing couldn't have been worse for the Kremlin, which had just showcased these bomb technologies as key tools in its renewed push toward Kharkiv. Internally, Moscow scrambled to secure other sensitive sites, reportedly increasing military police deployments at over a dozen weapons R&D centers across western Russia. Politically, the attack undermined the image of Russian invincibility that President Putin has carefully constructed, an image already strained under sanctions, battlefield losses, and mounting dissent from pro-war nationalist bloggers. Meanwhile, Ukraine's calculated silence, neither confirming nor denying the strike, added another layer of psychological warfare, leaving Russian officials guessing about Kiev's next target. When your opponent's best-kept secrets are no longer safe, your grip on control starts to slip.